This Friday campfire story plot comes from Fancy, a member and a subscriber of the channel. It's called Echoes Below. The sky hung low and bruised as three women, Fancy, Christina, and Benny, stepped out of Benny's car at the entrance of the Moaning Caverns in California. The three women were popular content creators, each with their own niche. Fancy focused on lifestyle vlogs, and Benny did urban exploring and 420 stuff, while Christina focused on paranormal investigations and local legends. All three met for a fan meetup, but it was canceled at the last minute due to low attendance. But the Cavern Tour Company offered them a private haunted experience instead, just them and a guide. The sun dipped below the trees as their guide, a man named Elias, greeted them. He was very thin, with wiry arms, sunken cheeks, and a smile that didn't quite reach his eyes. "You're lucky," he said softly. "Few get to see the Moaning Caverns after dark. Even fewer ask to." They descended into the yawning darkness via a narrow spiral staircase bolted into the ancient limestone. The cavern had a history older than memory, sacrificial grounds, rumors of disappearances, and of course, the moaning. No one ever agreed what caused it: wind, water, or something else. At the bottom of the staircase, their flashlights revealed glittering rock walls and strange pictograms that Elias claimed weren't in any textbook. The locals never talked about these. "They're not very friendly," he said. As they explored deeper, signal bars vanished. Christina's camera became glitchy. Benny's EMF reader jumped sporadically. Fancy, skeptical as ever, laughed until she saw a shadow dart across the far tunnel. "That wasn't one of us," she said, voice clipped. And Elias had vanished. They retraced their steps, calling out, but all that answered were the echoes. Echoes that didn't repeat what they said. Instead, they whispered things back: names, dates, sobs. Fancy shined her light towards a crevice and froze. Scratched deep into the stone were hundreds of fingernail marks and an old camera with Christina's face reflected in the lens, though Christina stood right behind her. They weren't alone, and they hadn't been since they entered that cave. Benny was the first to hear them, not with her ears, but through the vibrations in the stone beneath her feet, a soft, rhythmic tap, 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 echoing from deep within the labyrinth of tunnels, like someone was knocking or signaling. Christina whispered, "They're not ghosts." The EMF reader was dead now, but something inside her buzzed with a primal warning. Fancy lowered her camera, her hands trembling. "There's something alive down there." Just then, they found Elias, or what was left of him. His guide badge still clung to his shredded shirt, but his face had been peeled, carefully, deliberately, like a mask. And beside him, a crude drawing scratched into the wall. Three women, one camera, three X's over their faces. They ran. Twisting paths led them deeper. The walls narrowed. The air thickened. And that's when they heard it again. The moaning. But now it was unmistakably human. A low, guttural, rasping chant coming from the walls themselves. And then, out of the dark, They emerged. Pale figures, naked except for bone trinkets and strings of old tourist bracelets. Skin stretched thin over wiry muscles, eyes milky and glowing faintly in the dark, dozens of them, all staring, unblinking, silent. They had been human, miners, explorers, maybe even tourists, but years in the dark had twisted them, generations of isolation, inbreeding, and something else. The below folk didn't speak in words, they mimicked. One repeated Benny's scream in falsetto, another copied Fancy's nervous laugh, but kept going long after everyone went quiet. Another one of them, smaller, childlike, began mimicking Christina's cries for help, pitch perfect, until it began begging in her exact voice. "They want our voices," Fancy whispered. "They want our faces." Christina turned to run and found herself face to face with herself. A below folk wearing a torn hoodie, fake lashes, and a patchy wig of black hair. It hissed with joy, reaching for her face. The next morning, the cavern staff were surprised that the tour guide and the three women's cars were still in the lot. Thank you so much for watching another Friday night scary story. Shout out to our members. Thank you so much for your support. And thank you to everyone who supports our channel. We appreciate you. If you're not subscribed, consider subscribing, and we'll see you next week.